Hi everyone, I'm Bruce Swartz. Thanks so much for the support, the contributions, guys. Thank you so much to the amazing support that you guys are giving me. We have some UFO footage here from Ken Nicoletti, sent in raw footage. Ken asks me, Bruce, they seem to be disappearing after following them, for a certain while they disappear. Could it be the light pollution? Because there is some light pollution, of course. And this is a great shot, by the way. Great shot, Mr. Nicoletti. And yeah, it's not, bro. By taking down the exposure here, these UFOs are dimming out. They are descending in intensity of light. Maybe it's the propulsion, the way it's being, we don't know, right? But I think it went upwards. I don't think that it just dimmed out. I think it also took off upwards a bit further down here in the video. We'll look at it in slow motion. Beautiful constellations at the back anyway. So as for knowing where you are when you're filming them, and that's pretty easy to know and to see. And these objects look like stars, guys. Really scary. So it's maybe not falling stars we're seeing at night in the sky. You get my drift? Ken Nicoletti also told me that in Ireland it's hard to get a clear sky. It's always, blurred. It's very hard to get a clear sky. But that's why he said when he went to Italy this summer, a couple weeks ago, on vacation, he was able to get all these UFOs. And we're not talking in a long period of time. We're going to check to see if it goes upwards. Ken, we're going to slow it down and keep the exposure like this. Is perfect. Just for us to be able to, it's can you see it oscillating, turning? It actually looks like a boomerang, right? It's spiraling. But now watch here. It goes upwards. See, it veers up there. Once it veers up a little bit, it just disappears. There's Corona Borealis, by the way. Do you see how this thing it looks like a star that's not stopped in place? Well, that looks like it's stopped in place because, of course, everything's in movement, supposedly. I don't know, eh? Look at it. It really does look like it'll veer upwards at the last minute. It's dimming down so much. It doesn't seem to be going further, but obviously there it is, went upwards, and I think it just sort of disappeared. And thanks again, Ken Nicoletti, for sending that in. So seriously, guys, let's talk common sense. What happens when we see a falling star or a meteor or an asteroid go by or a comet? We see a split second, sometimes a second, maybe 2 seconds, 3 if you're lucky, a light that goes across the sky. It doesn't mean it's always an asteroid. These objects take off, they look like stars. So now we have a problem. There's a lot of stars out there in the universe, and I think now a lot of UFOs. The photo in the center background here is Booty's constellation that I got, is Arcturus in the center there. The two top little frames that you are looking at is work by Mr. Nicoletti, Ken Nicoletti. This is when I took the exposure down from his video, remember? Okay, so now that that's clarified, I just want to show you guys the comparison. Look at the top left. That's the still shot that I took with the exposure down that Ken Nicoletti caught. That is an actual UFO. Do you see why I'm saying it looks like the actual Booty star? Just these objects, UFOs, look like stars. Now here's the thing. They can dim down and they can turn their lights off, whether it be because they're turning the engine down, we don't know. It could be just a cloaking device, because they can very easily go under the radar on Earth too and turn that light down and fall into the darkness. So it's another cloaking. By turning off the cloak, it's maybe not necessarily turning it off. Maybe it's an actual other cloak. And this is why we see dark UFOs, and we see lit up UFOs, and we see UFOs that are lit up from the back propulsion units, meaning it could be the Earthlings, us, the humans, the ones that have actual crafts, that UFOs that light up at the back and sort of look like planes, could be human. And the other ones that we are seeing, these lights, these incredible lights flying through space that Ken Nicoletti caught us to be able to show us, is definitely, so long me, well, possibly an alien extraterrestrial intelligent life form. I'm finding the real thing. This is Copernicus crater. Check it out. Another type of light, another shape or form coming out of the sidewall. So now we see craters being exited by UFOs and entered by UFOs. Proud to clarify all these for you. The UFOs that I'm finding on the surface of the moon that are pressed up on the surface that have a shadow beside it. Or is it a dark craft that is emanating a light? Because there are two objects that we seem to see going over the craters, and the light right now is behind the object, the dark object moving forward. And this object too, in comparison to Ken's UFOs, Mr. Nicoletti, they dim out too, and they completely dim out, and then they relight up after over a couple of 100 miles. And could it be their propulsion units system, you know, the way it's advancing the craft? That we may never know, but we know one thing for a fact now, that whoever it is, whatever the intelligent life, human or not, or breakaway civilization, we do know and we can confirm they exist. Another species exists, or it's a breakaway civilization. You know, a big screen does help. A big television, a big monitor does help to see these objects. But come on, guys, you know, get a magnifying lens, a very cheap one, the smallest magnification. No, it's not impressive as for its shape and form. For many. For me, it's entirely impressive. But as for the beauty aspect, maybe the artistic aspect of an intelligent being having just a smudge of light and driving around in it, it's not impressive for many. And for me, it is so impressive. We're looking at Clavius Crater. And Clavius Crater is a crater where many people ask me, well, find UFOs over craters that people know, at least, and not just areas you're not telling us about. So here I'm showing you guys that it's daily, by the way. I'm declaring this is always there. If I go up tonight, if it was a full moon, or actually not a full moon, I hate full moons. If it was 2-3 days towards next to the full moon, yeah, in the line of light, we would see these dipping in and out of craters. Here again, there's a white tower in front of us that we're not seeing. And depending on even how YouTube is going to post it, look convex or inverted, but this is a high object on the surface, and we're seeing a UFO light up and dim out. Look at this nice close-up of Clavius Crater. I want you guys to see that these objects are different. We're seeing different types of UFOs. We're seeing bridges all over the place. They have to be bridges. They're connected. There are structures on top of those bridges. We think those are the structures, and they are not. By zooming in, we see the structures really close. Sinus Iridum, the most amazing city on the surface of the moon that I've ever seen. Welcome to all new subscribers. For those just arriving, let me explain what you're looking at. You're looking at research on the surface of the moon. This is a UFO going between the dark areas that I'm trying to show and get arrows up, and watch this one. Keep watching and get the end up, another arrow. I'm always clarifying these. I'm getting in closer, and this has never been seen this close, nor has it been seen in this angle. Footage is footage. You can show footage many different angles, many different ways, and often it brings out more detail. Watch this. A UFO crossing over the top. So it's the same one that's actually, you know, slowly going through these craters. So for the first time, this is not a UFO that usually people get, you know, speeding by. We don't see them hovering, do we? Well, here we do. And on the surface, they're taking their time. They're not hiding from anyone, and they're all over the surface. They're going over craters and over objects that look like craters, right? Well, there are structures around them and symmetrical objects as you zoom in. It takes a long time to get in and show this, but it's all very real. So I'm able to capture these objects on the surface with the 14-inch telescope, but of course I have to zoom in as much as I can to be able to see them go by, but nonetheless they're there. It's awesome to be able to see that there is someone up there on the moon. Whether it's hard to see, it's blurry, it's whatever, no, it's the surface that's blurry. I mean, be honest, we're looking at surface that has a cloudy surface. The moon's surface has a cloud, a haze, whatever it may be. Now look at this one. Watch the shadow disappear under the craft as it descends into the crater's edge. Send your UFO videos to Bruce Swartz 75acommercial@gmail.com if you own the copyrights to them, of course, with a short description and your name. Thanks for the support, everyone, for taking the time to view this research, and thanks for subscribing and sharing. Thomas Kugler, thanks, bro. My gosh, for the generous donation. Jackson Holmes, bro, guys, I can't thank you guys enough for the support and people putting out for me and coming here to support me in any way they can. I love you guys for it, and I'm going to give back. You watch, I'll be giving back, guys. Thanks a lot.